Okay. So guys, so yesterday we saw till mid, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Now we'll continue with this substitute, concatenate, text or repeat or the other formulas which are left over. Okay. First of all, let's understand what is this substitute and then we'll go and see what this function will do. Okay. Substitute means alternative. Say for example, now let's go here. If you see, I have one hyphen here. See, I have hyphen here as well as hyphen here. Now I want to replace this. One thing I can do is I can use this find and replace. That is done. But when I'm actually using this find and replace, that hyphen replaced with any other character, both the hyphens will get replaced. Let's say I want to replace only one character. Then I'll have to think about the alternative way of doing it. See how we can use a formula to replace this value, say hyphen. So what we'll do, let's go here and say equals substitute. Then if I use tab, I'll get this substitute function with all these parameters. If you can see here, I have this text that is nothing but this text. Then old text, so what should I replace? New text, so what is that? The new character what I have to replace. Now I have something called as instance number. I'll come to this later. First we'll say text. Let me select this text, that is this cell. If I select this, that means I'm trying to replace a character from this particular cell. Say, comma. Now it will ask for old text. The text what I'm actually replacing is hyphen. I'll just put double quotes. Anytime if you think that you are actually trying to use a text in a parameter, make sure that you use this double quotes. Comma. What is that new text I want to replace? I'll go here, so double quote slash double quote. I will close the bracket now and say enter. Can you see that? I got this hyphen as slash. Now let me double click on this. I have this text wherein I'm taking this text. I have this hyphen wherein I'm trying to replace this character. Then I have this slash which will get replaced. Did someone message anything? So are you guys are audible? I mean, you're able to hear me?
Crystal clear.
Okay, sure. So someone messaged, I am not getting the chat box. So I just wanted to get, okay, let me just continue. So I have this. Now I have something called as instance number. I'll tell you what is that instance number. You see, I have one hyphen, then second hyphen. I might have more hyphens as well here. Sometimes what will happen, I want to replace only one hyphen in this. Say I want to replace this first hyphen or the second hyphen only. Then what I'll do is I'll go here, just double click. Here I have this parameter. I'll put this comma. It says instance number. I just have to mention which occurrence I need to replace. Let's say one and say enter. See, only the first hyphen will be replaced with slash. Now if you go here and change this to 2, the second one will get, say, replaced. Now if I drag this down, see, so the entire, whatever the list, whatever I'm dragging, so that will get replaced. So once again, I'll repeat, substitute is used for replacing a character with the occurrence. Say, suppose if I'm not specifying this instance number here, then it will replace all the characters in that particular say text. Okay, fine. Let me just tell you one more information here. It says instance number, and here you can see this square bracket. If you find any parameter in any functions with the square bracket, that means it is actually optional. Optional means you can either skip that or you can use it. Let's say, for example, I'll just remove the parameters here. The first parameter says text, which I've entered here. Second parameter says old text, I've entered here. The new text are not entered. If I say enter, see, it will say you have entered too few arguments for this function. That means you have not given all the parameters, all the required parameters. I'll say comma, I'll put the slash. Now if I say enter, see, all the slash will be hyphen will be replaced with this slash. Suppose if you want, I can use this optional parameters. Okay, so any function, if you find the square bracket, that means it is optional, right? Okay, let me go to the next one. Concatenate. Concatenate is a function which is used for combining the cells what I have selected. Let's say equals concatenate, and then I'll say I'm hard coding it now, ITAS, comma, then I'll say second text, I'll say training. Now what I'm doing is I'm hard coding the value, open bracket and close the bracket, say enter. See, it says ITAS training. This is hard coded values. So suppose if you want to have a space here, say double quote, space, comma, enter. That means the space is also a text. This is text 1, text 2, and text 3. Now this is hard coded value. Suppose if you want to refer a cell and then get this, I'll go here. Let me just take this equals concatenate, and then I'll say text 1, comma, and say text 2, enter. So suppose if you want one more text, then I'll say comma. Then again one more text, say for example, I'll say comma, then take this, comma, then take this, comma, take this. So I have to keep on saying comma and keep on entering it. But now we have a function called as concat, which will help me in just dragging the reference so that instead of using all these comma separators, I can directly get the concatenated values. Say concat. That's all. Now if you see here, it says text 1 and goes on. You just have to go here, just drag this. It's a new function which is in 2019 or Office 365. Say enter, see. Now you might ask, how do I get this space? I want space here, or I want a comma separator here. So that also is possible. For that, we have to use a function called as text join equals text join. This text join, what it will do is it will ask for a parameter wherein I'll say delimiter. Delimiter can be a space or comma or whatever you want. Say I want the text what I'm actually joining should be like this, a comma with a space separator. Then it says ignore empty. Ignore empty means suppose if I have empty values in the range what I've selected, so that will ignore. Or if you want to include that as well, then I can use either of these options. If I say true, it'll say ignore empty cells. That means if there are any empty cells there, I'll show you practically how it works. It will ignore the empty cells, or if I say false, it will not ignore it. So for example, now I'll take this true, then I'll say comma, then let me select the text from here till here. We'll select, let's say I'll select some 5 cells. I'll close the bracket and say enter. See, it will give me a comma separator. See here, I've used concatenate with all the separators, it's selected with all these say references. The next I used concat, just dragging all the references. Then here I've used text join. So these 3 different functions work in different way, but the result will be same. Say here I'm using this comma separator, here I'm using just the range, here I'm using this delimiters, and then I'm getting the results. I was talking about this true or false. Let's say I'll go here, I'll delete one value. Can you see that? It says space here. Can you see that I don't have space here? Now what I'll do, instead of true, I'll make it as false. And I'll say enter. Can you see that? A comma separator, then a space, then again a comma separator, then I'll get the name. Say I'll remove this. See, I'll get the space here. If I would have given it as true, see, I will not get those blank values. So this is for joining the text. Say concatenate, concat, text join. Concatenate was there till 2016. Concat and text join is available in 2019 version. If you guys have only 2016, these 2 functions will not work. If you have the latest version, then only this will work. But still have this information so that in case if you upgrade your versions, then it will be very useful. And these 2 functions are very useful because you don't have to struggle writing macros. Previously we had to write macros for this to do all these things, but now I have a function wherein I can easily do all this. Okay, fine. Let me go to next function. I have something called as text. Now just concentrate on this. Text function is actually used to convert your values into different formats. So we have something called as number format, which is a different chapter which we'll be learning in the coming sessions. But still, I'll tell you, if I have a value and if you want to change the format of that particular value, then I'll be using this text function. But keep in mind, if I'm using this text function, the value will get converted into text. Let me explain you practically. Let's say I have a number here which says employee ID, which has got 5 characters, or it might have 4 characters or something, but I want to make this all the numbers equally to 8 characters. So what I'll do, let me go here, I'll say equals, say text. It'll ask for the value. Let me select this, comma. It'll ask for the format. Let's say I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 zeros, then I'll close the bracket and I'll say enter. See, it becomes 8 characters totally. But if you see here, this is actually a text now. This is not a number. Let me drag this. See, all the numbers will get converted into 8 characters. Let me go here. I'll make it only 2 characters, say 17. See, that will become like this. Now, let's say I want to convert this in a different format. Say I don't want like this. I want hyphen like this. See, let me enter. Can you see that? So I can change the format however I want. Let's say I want a bracket. Put the bracket here. See? So you can change your format however you want, but keep in mind the number will become text here. This is text function. You'll be learning in depth of this when you come to this number formatting chapter. There you learn all the different kind of number formats. Then you can use this text function as well with those number format style. Next, we have something called as repeat. We just explain what is this repeat. Let's just hide this so that we'll have more space. See, let's say I have a number here. I want a character to be concatenated with this so that this will be padded with say X or star or whatever. I want to make this 12 characters with X. If I have say 6 characters, then the rest 6 should be X. So in that I cannot use this text format because text will use only zeros. So if I want to have a customized text, I cannot use that. So for that I can use this repeat. First let's understand what this repeat will do, and then we'll see where this can be used. Say equals REPT. This is the function name. It lasts for the text. Let's say I will take one text. Let's say I want to take X. I want to repeat this 10 times. Say enter. See, it repeats 10 times. A repeat function repeats a character the number of times I need. Now let's go and see where this can be applied. Say for example, I have this one number. This is a number actually. Double click, we can easily know this. I want this number should be 12 characters, but it has to be padded with X or star before this. That is, I want to prefix something here. So for that, what I'll do, let me go here. I'll say equals. Say equals. Let me just increase. Say equals. Repeat. Say X, comma. I'll say 12 times. Totally, I have 12x here, but for me, I want along with this 12 characters. That means I have already 6 characters. I'll make it as 6. I'll get 6x. Now what I'll do, I'll say concatenate, or I can use this and symbol as well. Instead of concatenate function, I'll say this one. Say enter. See, I'll get this x along with this number. This is repeat. Repeat is actually used for repeating a given character. This is not only for single character. Let's say, for example, I'll go here. I have ITAs. Now I want this to be repeated 5 times. Say repeat. Take this text, refer this, comma. I'll say 5. it will repeat 5 times. I can go, let's say A, see, 5 times. I'll put star, say 5 times, like this. So given text will be repeated the number of times I need. So this is repeat function. Next, trim. Trim is a very nice function to clean the data. Now let's say, for example, I have some text here with all unwanted spaces. Now if you want to remove these spaces, either I can use this find and replace. But keep in mind, if I use this find and replace, it will remove all these spaces. Then you'll not get the space here. So in that case, what I'll do, I'll be using this trim function. Trim functions are actually used to remove unwanted spaces. It can be either in the beginning or in the middle or in the end. So how it works? Let's go here. Just a simple trim. Select this, close the bracket, enter. That's all. Now let me drag this. See, all the unwanted spaces will be cleaned here, so you don't have to bother, you don't have to think that okay, this I have to go and keep on doing it manually. Nothing, just say trim, select that and say enter, finish. Now you will get all the values which have been removed with the unwanted spaces. So these are actually the text functions what we have in Excel. Okay, so you can unmute, and if you have any doubts, please ask me. Once we finish this, then I'll go with this another chapter with another function. You can unmute and say if you have any doubts, I'll clear it up.
Fine for me, Adi.
Okay. Others? Feel free, guys, please.
Sir, sir, this is Rajesh.
Yeah, Rajesh, tell me.
Just show me a text one more time. I had a connection on when you show the text example.
Okay.
Just one example.
Sure. I'll do that. No worries. So first, see, I'll tell you one thing, guys. Before doing this example, first you should understand what is my requirement. Always, whenever you're doing any task, let it be a function or it can be a sorting or whatever you're doing, first understand the requirement. Then you should think about what options I can use. Okay, so then only you can actually master any, it can be Excel or it can be program or it can be anything. First, understand your requirement, then think what options I can use. Okay, so first let's understand what is this text. Say my requirement was to change the number into 8 characters. So one is I can go here, I can put it this like this manually, correct? I just put some zeros here and say enter. So my work is done. But the problem here is manually if you do, it will take a lot of time. So for that we have a text function, say equals and say text. What text will do? It will convert a value into different format. Now I want the format as 8 characters. So what I'll do, I'll just go here, select this, comma, and I'll put in double quotes. Always the format should be in double quotes. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want 10, then I'll use this 10. I'll add 2 more zeros. Say enter. See, like this. So I was also telling, if you want to change the format, I can go here. I can put some hyphens here, like this, and say enter. That will get changed. Okay, Rajesh.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No worries. You still get the video. You can go through that. It will be more clear for you. And also, I'll be sharing this file with you. You can work on that later.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, shall we move on with the next function? If you don't have any doubts.
Sir, can you explain find function again?
Find?
Yes.
Okay. See, let's not take this example. I'll just go here. Just say here, I'll put one text. Okay, I'm say solutions. Now let's say I want to find A. Can you see this? I have this A here. I want to find this character. Say equals find. I'll say A. Read the parameter here. See, find text is A. I'm finding this A. Within which text? I'll select this. Close the bracket. Say enter. So it gives me the position of the character which I'm actually looking for. Okay. Now, can you see this small a? If I go here, if I say a, see, gives me ninth character. Find is used to get the position of the character which I'm specifying. That's all. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any other doubts, people, in text functions? Okay. So we'll move on. I'll just close this file. I'm just closing this file. Guys, let me know if I'm going very fast so that I can go a little slow. So next will be conditional functions. Okay, we'll see the state functions and then I'll go to this conditional functions. So guys, you can see my screen, all of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I asked you guys, if I'm going fast, please let me know. I will go a little slow. Okay. Fine. Okay. Date functions. A date function means if I have a date, then what should I do on that? If I have a number, how to convert that into date? So anything related to date, when it comes to a date, then I'll be using these functions. Let me explain one by one. They're all actually very simple formulas like what we saw, these text functions. These date functions are also very, very simple. Okay, fine. Let's go with a very simple example. Let's say I'm getting a data like this, day, month, and year in a separate columns. They're not in the same column. Let's say I'm extracting some data. The data has been collected such a way that the day, month, and year are in a separate columns. Now I want to convert this into date function. Some people, what they do, they'll go here, they'll say equals. Let's say equals this one, say ampersand, this one, ampersand, this one. This will not work. Don't do this. Now this concatenate will not work here. So there is a function called as date. Say equals date. This will actually help me in converting the columns or say the selected cells into date function. I mean date value. Can you see this? The parameter says year, then month and day. Let me select this year, comma. Then it says month, comma, and say day. Guys, if you understand these parameters, I'll tell you the formulas or the functions what you're doing. It will be very, very easy. Let me close this and say enter. Can you see that? Day. This is month, day, and year. If you want, you can convert this. Say I can go to this. Now don't worry about this conversion. I'm just showing you this so that you can know what the date actually. See, 3rd August 2010. If you want, you can track this. You get this. Say, let me repeat again. Date, open bracket, year, month, and day. Say end. I will convert the values which are in different columns to date formats. Right? Okay. Now I have something called as date value. I'll come to this date value later. First, let me finish this part and then again I'll come back to this. Now let's say day, month, and year. Just now we saw one example here, that is date with year, month, and day. Suppose I have a date. I want to extract day, month, and year from a date itself. Then what I'll do, I'll go here, say equals, just mention day and select this, say enter, done. You will get the day value from the date. Let's say I want to take month. Instead of going to these tabs, I'll just explain here only. Say equals month, select this, say enter. See, I'll get this 7. 7 is nothing but July. Now, if you want to get the year, I'll say equals, I'll say year, and I'll select this, say enter. See, I'll get this year. So, if I have a date, if you want to extract day, month, and year, I can use this day function, month function, year function to separate the values. Suppose if you want to combine that, then I can use this date function. Then what is this date value? Let's come to this now. Every date actually are stored as a value. Every date. Okay, if I say 1, this is also a date. Okay, so 1 is nothing but the date in Excel start from 1900 January 1st. For every single value there is a date, or every date will be stored as a value. Now if you see this text or this number, sorry, this is a number. The first 4 characters mentions the year, the next 2 characters mention the date, the last 2 characters mentions the day. Now I want to convert this into date. If I go here and if I put say hyphen say enter, see, it will work. But the problem here is every time I cannot go and do this manually. It will take a lot of time. So what I'll do, I have a function called as date value, which will help me in converting this into a date. How to do that? First, let's understand the parameter for a date value will always be a text. So this is actually a number. I want to convert this into text. So how will I do? Let's say just now we saw one function that is text. It will convert your number into different format, but that will be in a text format. So what I'll do, I'll say text. I will select this value, comma. So we saw that 0000 something. So what I'll do, same option I'll use here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is for year, hyphen. 1, 2. This is for month, hyphen. 1, 2. This is for day. See, this got converted. I told her date value will use a parameter as a text. Now what I'll do, I'll go here. This is a parameter now. Let's take date value one bracket, the complete text whatever I have taken here. I'll say enter. See, it got converted. Now let's drag it, finish over like this. Let me repeat again. So equals text 1, 2, 3, 4 for year, hyphen 1, 2 for month, and the next 2 characters for day. Say enter. Sorry, I didn't select this, comma, enter. See, this is the text. Now on this, I'll use this date value and then close. See, drag this, it will get converted automatically. So this is date value. Let's come to this today function. Today function will help me in getting today's date, that is system date. It is not that the actual date. This will be whatever is there in your system. I'll get that date. So equals today open bracket close bracket. Keep one more thing in mind. For today there is no parameters allocated, so it is just today open bracket close bracket and say enter. See, it will give me today's date. It says 4/9/2020, that is month, day, and then year. Okay, so these functions whatever you saw, date, it will convert day, month, and year into date. Date value, if the value if you want to find convert a number into text and then into date value, then I can use date value. Then say day to extract day from a month, sorry, year. Then month is used to extract a month from a date. Then year to extract year from a date. Today will give me the today's say date, that is system date. Let's go to this EO month. EO month is nothing but end of month. End of month means it will give me the end date of the selected date. Now let's say I have this 3rd August 2010. I want the last date, that's the end date of that particular month. Say equals EO month. Select this start date, comma, at last for months, put 0 is the index for the current month. Say enter. See, it will give me 31st August 2010. Now if I drag this, I'll get all the end date of the selected month. Suppose if you want the end date of the selected current month, the next month's last date, the next month, let's say I have this 3rd August, I want September last date, then I'll go here, I'll mention here 1, enter, see, it'll give me September 30th, that is the selected next month's last date. If I give 2, then it will go to 2 months, and 3 months, it goes on. So suppose if you want the previous month's last date, then say -1. You can use the parameter with negative value as well. See, it says July 31st, that is the previous month's last date. Now, let's go here. I want to find the first day of the month. So for this, we don't have any function. So what I'll do, I'll go here, say equals EO month of this, comma, I'll say -1. It gives me the previous month's last date. As I told you, every date is stored as values. I'll say +1 and say enter. See, that is the next day, immediate next day. So this is the last day of the previous month. +1 will be the next day. That means the first day of the selected. So like this, these tricks also you can use to get the date. Next we have the time. I'll come to these 3 functions after completing this. Time is a function which is actually used for calculating your time. So I want to convert the values which are in different columns to a time. So equals time. Let me select this R, comma. Just read this parameter: minute, comma, seconds. See, I don't have that second. Say I'll go here. I can use this formats here. Again, don't worry. I told you number format itself is a separate chapter. I'll explain there. See, I selected R, minute, second, and I got this. Let's go to this again. Like in date functions, what we had to separate your R, minute, and second. Similarly, I have function for time as well. See, equals R of this. I'll get the R. Say minute of this. I'll get the minutes equals second of this. Got it? So I can separate R, minute, and second from a time, or if I have a separate R, minute, and second, I can convert that into time as well. See, like this. Say time. Again, I'll select this R, minute, second. See, again. Fine. Okay. Next, we have something called as now. Now is a function which will give me the current time. Like what I have this today. Similarly, I have this now. How to use this? The equals now, open bracket, close bracket, no parameters again here. Say enter. See, I'll get the current time. Current time in the sense the time what we have now in my system. For this, we have shortcut keys as well. Say if you want to insert quickly the current time, so control semicolon. It's actually protected. Just show it here only. It's a control semicolon. I'll get the current time. Sorry, current date. Let me make it as date. Control shift colon. It will give me the current time. But if I'm using this shortcut key, say control semicolon for current date, control shift semicolon for current time. If you are using this shortcut key, that will not be a formula, it will be a value like this. What the disadvantage of this? See, you enter it quickly, but the problem is tomorrow if you open, let's say, for example, if I say control semicolon, it says 9th April 2020. Tomorrow if you open this file, it will be still 9th April 2020 only. But if I'm using this, say today or now, say tomorrow if you open this file, so this will become 5th April, 10th April 2020. So this will get updated, but the hard-coded values will not get updated. So try to use functions wherever you want dynamic values. Otherwise, quickly if you want to insert today's date, you can use either say control semicolon or control shift semicolon. Next two functions, weekday and weeknum. Let's see what is this. Weekday. Weekday means it will give me the serial number of the week. Let's say I have 7 days in a week. Say Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, Tuesday is 3. Likewise, have till 7. That means we have 7 days in a week. Each day will have the weekday number. Let's say equals weekday. And let me select this and say enter. See, it says 3. That means Sunday is 1, Monday is 2, Tuesday is 3. That means this is Tuesday. 3rd August 2010 is actually Tuesday. Let's see. I'll go here. Let me just convert this. Just make it as. See, I just converted the format. That's it. Okay, see, it's Tuesday. Now let me drag this. It will give me the index number of that particular week. So suppose if you want to find week number, what is week number? Let me explain. Weekday will give me the series or say the index number of that particular weekday. WEEKNUM will give me the weekly number throughout the year. Let's say 3rd August 2010 is on which week number in a year. So in a year we have this 52 weeks or 53 weeks. Say equals WEEKNUM of this. Say enter. See, this is in 32nd week of the year. Let me just drag this. Can you see this? Let me go here. I'll make it as say 31st December to see just 53rd week. So make it as January 1st, then it should be 1. See, like this. So this will give me the week number. So week day will give me the index number of that particular week. Week number will give me the index number throughout the year. Let me just explain once again all this quickly, and then I'll ask you if you have any doubts. Date function, it will convert the day, month, and year which are there in the separate columns to a date format. Date value, it will take a value and then it will convert that to date formats. Then day, month, and year will extract a day, month, or year from a date. Then we have today, which will help me in getting today's date. Then we have time. Time will actually take this hour, minute, and second, will convert into time format. Then hour, minute, and second will extract hour, minute, and second from a time formats. Then we have now, which will give me the current time, that is system time. Then we have weekday and weeknum, which will give me the index number, that is weekday will give me the weekly index number. Then weeknum will give me the week number throughout the year. Okay, so you guys have any doubts on these functions? I'll explain again. If you have any doubts, you can unmute and just tell me if you have any doubts. People?
Sir, regarding the week number,
Yeah.
it is showing only current that particular year of week number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the till now. It is not showing the week number for the till date.
See, I'll tell you what this week number will do. Week number will give me the weekly number throughout the year. Say, for example, 1st Jan 2010. Okay, this will be in the first week. I mentioned it as 31st Jan. That will be in the final week. That is 53rd week. If I say 7th July, that will be in 27th week. So it will just mention on which week it is.
Okay.
The weekly number.
So if I want to know, so how many weeks over from 7 July 2008 to till date? So is that the different
You can
formula,
just
right?
mention, see, you want how many weeks, right? This is, let's say, I want the number of weeks from 10th November to 7th July. Just go here, say equals this minus this. See, it is 18 weeks. Understood? So I'll take the week number of this. I'll take the week number of this, and this minus this will give me the number of weeks. Understood?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank
just have to find the week numbers and then subtract from this week to that week. How many weeks are there? Any other doubts?
Adi, if you have to change from year, month, and day format to day, month, and year format, then what we have to do?
Yes, so that's a different chapter which says number formats. Okay, say I'll briefly explain. Say control 1 here, I have something called as number. So this number format itself is a separate chapter where we will be explaining in depth of all these things. To quickly tell you, if you go to this date, okay, just say control 1, or you can say right click format cells also will work. Say control 1, you'll get this format cell tab. You go to this date, you have different kind of formats. You can select any one of the formats. Say I'll select this, it will get converted to day, month, and year. Now suppose if I go here, I'll select this format. See, it will get converted to that format. So control 1, go to format cells, that is number, and you can select the date and you can change the formats. But that itself is a separate chapter. We'll go in depth of it. There are so many things to learn in format itself. But to quickly, you can say control 1, go to date, and then you can change the formats like this.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other doubts? Feel free, guys, please. Don't think it's any silly doubts or something. Anything silly also, it's fine, because everyone are learning here. So shall I proceed? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So afternoon, all are feeling sleepy, is it? At home? Closing this. So I'll open. Now let's say conditional formulas. So you guys can see my screen now, all of you? Yes?
Yes, we can.
Yes? Okay. So first let me explain the chapter what I'm doing, and then I'll proceed with explaining you with examples there. Okay. Along with that, we have some new formulas also. I'll just explain that as well. The topic what we're taking now is called as conditional formulas, or say conditional functions. So before going to all these functions, let me explain why this is used, where this is used. Conditional functions means, first let's understand what is this condition. Condition means what? Say we are applying some condition on that. Whether it is true, it should work something. If it is false, it should work on something. Say if it is true, then I'll get some results. If it is false, then I should get some results. So when I actually apply a condition on some values, or say text, or say some cell or reference, I should get a result depending on the condition what I'm giving. Say condition is true, I'll get one result. If it is false, I should get another result, right? That is actually called as condition function. These condition functions, we have various functions here. Let's say if this condition is true, what should I do? If not, what should I do? Then I have something called as nested if. This nested if is nothing but multiple ifs. Say if this condition is true, so what should I do? If one more condition is true, what should I do? If one more condition is true, so it goes on. Then I have this SUMIF, say Countif, AVERAGEIF, I'll explain it. Then we have this is error. This, forget about this is error. This is not there now. The if error, that is, if there is any error, what should I do? Okay, so these things I'll explain you. First, let's go to this if condition and then understand how to use this if condition. Now, the scenario or the task, what the requirement is, I have some total value here. I want the status saying if the sales value is greater than 10,000, then it should be excellent. Otherwise, it should be poor. A very simple example here. If the total sales value is greater than 10,000, then it should say excellent. Otherwise, it should say poor. So what should I do? Say equals if. First, we'll type this function. See the parameter here? It says logical test. value if error, then value if false. First, we'll do this logical test. Logical test is nothing but the condition what I'm applying. Say, select this cell. This is what we are checking now, right? Say, the sales value should be greater than 10,000. Say, greater than 10,000. If this is true, this is my condition. If this is true, then I'll say excellent. If this is false, I'll say see, if this value is greater than 10,000, then I'll say excellent. If it is false, then I'll say it is poor. I'll say enter. Then I'll just drag this down. Wherever you see it is greater than 10,000, I can see this excellent. Let me go here. I'll make it as 12,000. Then this should be excellent. See, if I go here, I'll make this as 5,940. It should come four. See, like this. So automatically I'll get the result. This is if condition. This is simple if condition with only one condition, that is single condition. If I have multiple conditions, let's go here. Just run this. I have multiple conditions. Let's say here I have some conditions. Say if the sales value is greater than 5,000, it should be excellent. If it is greater than 2,000, it should be good. If it is greater than 500, it should be average. Sorry, it should be average. Otherwise, it should be poor. Now, if I say greater than 5,000, that means any value above 5,000, it should be excellent. If I say greater than 2,000, that means from 2,000 till this 5,000, it should be good. If it is again greater than 5,000, it should become excellent. But from 2,000 till this 5,000, it should be good. Next, from 500 to 2,000, it should be average. Sorry, this should be average. And then, if none of these conditions are true, then they should become poor. So how to do that? Say equals if. There is something called as nested if. The process of using multiple ifs is called as nested if. Okay, so don't think that there is something called as nested if. If, same thing, logical test, the first condition will check. But the first condition, I'll say this value is greater than 5,000. Then I'll say excellent. Fine, comma. If this is true, I'll get excellent. What if this is false? If this is false, then I have one more condition, that is if this value is greater than 2,000, then I'll say good. Just observe this. It will go to first condition. If this is true, it will execute this. It will come out. That's all over. If this is false, it will go here. It will check. If this condition is true, it will execute this part. It will come out. If not, again I'll say if this condition say is greater than 500, then I'll say average. If none of these conditions are true, then say close bracket. This bracket is for this if. I'll put one more bracket that is for this if. Then I'll put one more bracket that is for this if. So you can see the color code as well. See, this is purple. I can see this. Red, I can see this. Black, I can see this. Say enter. See, this value falls in this bucket, that is from 2,000 to 5,000. Let me make it as 7,000 and see. Now this should become excellent. See, I'll go here. Let me make it as 80, then it should become poor. If I go here and if I say 580, then it should become average. See, now if I drag this down, see, I'll get the result. Make it as 11,000. See, this is called as nested if. Nested if means using if condition multiple times for checking multiple conditions, right? Okay, next, come to this sum if. Okay, please concentrate on these functions because This is little confusing actually, but not difficult or not complex. Little confusing, that's all. Let me put a market here. Sorry, department here. I'll say sales. First, we'll see. I want the total for each region, say north, east, west, and south. What is the total salary distributed? Now, one thing is, if you want the complete total, so yesterday we saw the function called as sum. I'll say sum, and I'll select the entire range. I'm getting this total. But what I need now is the total only for north, total only for east or west or south. You want to do this, one thing I can do is say equals. I'll go here. Say I have north here, select this. Then I'll say plus. Again, I'll go in search of north. I got here like this. Okay, suppose if I'm doing like this, one thing is it'll take a lot of time. Other thing is he might miss some values, which is not the right way of doing. So what should we do? So we have a function called as sum ifs. What the sum ifs will do? Sum ifs will give me the total. Like what we have this sum function, what we did here, this will give me the total, but on a condition, right? Say first thing is it says sum range. Let me select the entire range, and I'll make it as absolute. Say F. Yesterday you saw this absolute, relative, and mixed reference, wherein the references are actually fixed, comma. Now the condition starts. First thing is I'll just select this, finish. This will become like a fixed one. Now it says the condition here. It says criteria range 1. What you have to do here is first you have to select the criteria range. Here I'm checking for region. I will select the region from here. It should be from the same row. And say F4. That means I'm trying to fix this as well. I'm making it absolute, comma. Then it will ask for the criteria. I'll go here. I'll select this criteria. That means this is the total range. That is sum range. This is the range where I'm checking the condition, and the value which I'm checking is this one. If I say enter, see it says 8,07,200. If I drag this for each region, I'm getting this result. Now this is for only one condition. What if I want to check the condition with say department as well? Say I have this north, and the total salary issued in north is this much. What if in north I want for department sales how much? Then I'll say equals sum ifs. It says sum range. Let me go here. Let me select this. Again, same thing. Sum range. Now it says criteria 1. The first criteria what I'm checking is region. Say I'll fix this. Then it will ask for criteria. That is this one. This is what we did in this function as well. But now I want to check department as well. So what I'll do, I'll say comma. Now comes the second criteria. I'll go here, take this F4, comma, and I'll select this criteria. So here I selected only the region. Here I'm selecting multiple criteria as well. I'll say enter. See, in north I have 8,07,200, but in north sales I have 2,71,000. If I just drag this here, I'll get the result. Let's say I'll put here marketing. See, there is no value at all. If I drag this down, see. But guys, make sure that you will have the same values here. Say human resource, you cannot give HR here. See, it has to match the value whatever you are checking with the condition. If it is not matching, then you will not get the results. This is sum ifs. Sum ifs means adding the values or summing up the values or totaling up the values based on a condition. Fine. Let's come to this average if. Average if is similar to your sum if, but here instead of total, it will give me the average. What is that? Say equals, say average ifs. Now, instead of sum range, I'll have this average range. Let me select this. say F4, comma, it will ask for criteria range 1, that is, I will select this region, same selections. Only thing is the result what we get is different. Say select this region, say enter. See, this is the average for north. Let me drag this. Done. What if I want to have the average with region and states? Let me select this. What I'll do, I'll go here. We'll take the same formula instead of again doing same thing. I'll just put it here. Now I want the second criteria. Say comma. See, same thing. Average ifs. Then I took this average range, criteria 1, the region range. Then I took this region, comma. Now I will take this one. So F4, comma, and I'll select this. See, this will be the average with north and south. Next one is count ifs. So yesterday we saw this count functions. Say count black, count A. Same thing here. Suppose if you want to count, let's say I'll go here, say equals count A, and if I select this one, see, I'll get the complete count. That means there are 40 rows. But what if I want to count how many times north is repeating? Only north. Then I'll say equals, sorry, count ifs. Now you don't have to mention a count range here because directly I'm counting the values. So it asks for criteria range 1. Let me select this, say F4, comma, then the criteria, select this, say enter. See, I have 8 times north is repeating. Now suppose if I drag this down, the total of this should be 40. See, I'm getting this. East 12 times, west 12 times, south 8 times. Suppose if I go here and if I change this to north, north should get increased here and west should get decreased. See, this became 11, this became 9. Now if you want to count multiple things, say north along with the department, let me put this as sales. Now let me go here, say equals count ifs, say criteria range 1. Let me select this, say F4, comma, then I'll select this criteria, comma, then I'll select this department, F4, comma, then I'll select this department. See, I'll get this count. Next is in 2019 we have 2 new functions got added, that is max ifs and min ifs, which was not there till 2016 version. What this max ifs and min if will do, similar to your sum range and average range, here we have this max and minimum. So what this will do, let me just copy this and I'll paste it here, and here we'll see how to use this max of earning. Okay, now what max will do, it will give me the maximum value in the selected range. Say for example, I'll go here, say equals max of this, say enter. So 3,80,000 is the maximum value what we have here. See this one. Now what we'll do, I want the maximum based on each region. So how to do that? Say equals max ifs. See, it lasts for max range. Again, same thing what we did for sum or average. Select this from here. Say F4, comma, criteria range 1, that is this one. F4, comma, then select this criteria. Say enter. See. Now in north, say what is this? 1,50,200 is the maximum value. Suppose if you want, you can go here. Just try it by filtering. It's not getting filtered. Filter is disabled. Okay, fine. So north, let me just drag this down. See here. This is the maximum value out of each region. Suppose if you want maximum by region and department, say equals max ifs. Now let's say max range, that is this one, comma, then I have this criteria range, then we'll take this first criteria, then we'll take the second criteria, comma, department, enter. See, write this. Now here it says north is the maximum value. North in that sales is the maximum value. This is max ifs. Suppose if you want min if, then let me again take this minimum. Now here just have to change, that's all. So instead of maximum I'll say min ifs, and I have this minimum range, 4, comma, it lasts for criteria range 1, that is this one, comma, then I'll select this region, comma, then the department, 4, comma, second. See, like this. This is menus. So we have SUMIFs, AVERAGEIFs, COUNTIFs, plus MAXIFs and MINIFs, which will help me in getting the values based on some conditions, right? Okay. Next one is if error. If error is a function which will help me in checking if I have any error. If there is any error, I will give alternative value for it. Say for example, equals this divided by this. Let's say one simple formula. Let me drag it. Can you see this? I'm getting an error here. This division error we get when I'm actually dividing a number by 0. Now I cannot say that always the previous year and current year must have values. There can be 0, there can be blanks or something. So I cannot help. Now I cannot go here and say manually 0. This is not correct actually. Now suppose tomorrow if some values come here, see, it still says you have to go here and change the formula here like this. So instead of this, instead of again and again changing this, so what we'll do, I have this equation. Let's say if error of this value, say if error of this equation, I'll say comma, it lasts value if error, I'll say 0 and say enter. See, if there is any error, then I should get 0 here. See, the alternative value. Now it's not that only 0 should be there. I can also put text here, say invalid. See, can you see that? Wherever I get errors, it will get replaced with the alternative value what I'm specifying. Okay, so that is if error. So let me explain you about is error as well. Now people won't use much on this is error because is error was there in 2003 and 2007 version. Now also it is there, but not many will be using. But I'll tell you what actually this is error will do. Is error will actually check whether there is an error or not. If there is any error, it will say true. Otherwise false. Say equals this divided by this. Same example we'll take. Now let me just drag it down. Can you see that? I have this error. Now I just want to check whether there is an error in this equation. Say is error and put this equation. See, I have this. So I can find if the calculation are giving me some error, then I can easily know that there is some error if it is true. So this is error. So any doubts in this if conditions? You can unmute and you can ask.
Sir, Countif is a bit confused.
Okay.
Show me again.
Okay, sure. Any other doubts so that I can, continuously do? If you guys, if any one of you have doubts on this, any of the functions here, I can repeat that again. One is that count. I'll do that. Any other doubts? Feel free, guys. It's fine. People.
Adi, this is Sagu. If error, when we correct it to a 0%, but the formula eventually what we will be doing, it will not be accounted for, right? For example, in if error, if I change it to 0,
yes,
and when I'll do my eventual calculation on a price sheet, nothing will get affected, right?
No. See, I'll tell you what. See, this if error should be used whenever you actually use this divisions. Okay, or somewhere you'll be using this lookup functions or something. Tomorrow, anyways, you'll be having this lookup functions. Then you'll be knowing, what all the different type of errors you'll be getting, and why I'll be using this if error. So for your example, I'll tell you. See, when you are creating a template, if you feel that there is some divisions, and you know that, see, the sales can be there or may not be there. Say for example, in this case, I have this 0, and in current year I have this some value. Now if you want to find the growth percentage, then I'll be using this calculations both the previous year and the current year. So in this case, if it is 0, if I'm actually doing some calculation, I might get some errors. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll use this if error. If there is any error, then I'll say usually we give 0, so that we'll not get this value like this. Say it says 0%. Now if I have some value here, let's say I'm inputting some value here, see, automatically this will get changed. If I'm not using this if error, then I'll get the division error. So for that reason, I'll use this if error. That's all, just to get alternative value. That's all.
Thanks, Adi.
Okay, just to get the alternative value. That's all. It is nothing related to the calculations part, just to get the alternative value. No. Any other doubts? Okay. So coming to this Countif. Okay. So as I told you, let me just delete all this. I'll just delete this. Count means what? I'm trying to count the selected range. Okay. If you have attended yesterday's session, it will be easy for you to understand. It will just give me the number of counts. So what I did is, let's say equals, let's say count, and I'm selecting this range. So I'm getting 40 value. That is, I have 40 cells here. But this is without condition. Now what I need is with condition, that is only north, how many times it is repeating, only east, how many times it is repeating. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll go here and say equals count ifs. Now it's asked for criteria range. So what am I checking? I'm checking this region. I'll go here. I will select this region, say F4, say comma, then I'll select this region. So in this region, wherever it is north, I'll say enter. See, I'm getting 9. That means north is repeating 9 times here. Now if I drag this down, see, east is repeating 12 times, west is 11 times, south is 8 times. Now if you want even department as well, then what I'll do, comma, and have this second criteria, select this, say F4, comma, then I'll select this department, say enter. See, north with the sales, I have only 3 counts like this. This is what we do. This is count. Clear?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So any other doubts you have? If conditions? Fine. Let me come back to this nested if. Previously, we had this nested if. That means if, inside if, inside if, inside if. But guys, now this has been replaced with one more function called as ifs. Like what we have this SUMIFs, COUNTIFs, AVERAGEIFs, or say MAXIFs or MINIFs. Now we have something called as ifs. So this is again a 2019 function. Okay. Equals, let me just take it here only. Equals, say, ifs. Can you see that? It says logical test 1 and say value. Let's say this is greater than 5000. Then I'll say excellent. The previous example, the nested if function, what I did, say, comma, again one more if I was supposed to give. Now you don't have to do that. What you have to do is directly give the condition, that is this greater than say 2000. Then say good, comma. Logical test 3, that is this one. Say this greater than 500, then it should be average. Okay, comma. Then say, so I mention one more condition here, that is this is less than 500. Then see. So we don't have to put that multiple if inside if, again one more if, nothing like that. So directly you can actually take this. This is one more new function apart from maxifs and minifs. There is one more function, let me go here, that is called as switch. So what the switch will do, let's say equals switch. Switch is a function, it will check the condition once. Based on that result, it will give me the alternative result. So for example, I have this expression, I'll say take the expression, this one equals mark. So sorry, select this one, say if it is north, then I'll say n, else the value is south, then I'll say yes. If it is east, then I'll say e. If it is west, then say see, it will check only once this h8, what is the value. So it will check this. If it is north, then it should be n. If it is south, it should be yes. If it is east, then e, then west. So like this, you don't have to have multiple conditions to be checked. Say, suppose if you want to get the result for one expression, then I can put that expression here, and then for each result, what should be the alternative result. Say for example, now if I drag this down, see, if it is north, then it will say N, east it will say E, west W, south S, like this. So this is another new function which has been added. So there are 4 new functions which got added here in if conditions, that is maxifs, minifs, ifs, and then switch. Okay, fine. Let me close this. So you guys want to ask me any questions or something? Feel free, guys. You can unmute and you can ask me if you want. Nothing? Proceed.
I think I'm talking to Adi.
Yes.
Sir, right?
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. This is Sandeep here.
Sandeep, tell me.
So just wanted to check, because I could not attend due to technical glitches for
I
two
know today
days. I
there is
think
some issues actually. A lot of issues.
from past 2 days also. The
Yeah.
Excel training started before 2 days, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So are we gonna get these templates from the institute
Yes,
after
yes,
the
yes,
enrollment?
yes. You are getting all these templates. Along with that, the training video also has been uploaded. Okay. The
Okay.
last 2 or 3 classes, whatever happened, I think 2 classes happened. That has already been uploaded in the channels. Also, you have
Okay.
the
Okay.
materials uploaded. So today's
Mhm.
class also, you'll be getting all the materials along with this training videos, so that you can
Videos.
again have the repeated class if you want. You can take that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It was
So
very clear today. So I just wanted to check about the past two.
yeah, sure, you will get that.
Thank you.
Okay. So guys, the next chapter will be lookup functions. So shall I do that lookup functions today itself?
Sure.
Sure, all of you.
Sure, sir.
Okay, fine. Let me open lookup formulas. Just have to share the screen. Sure. So you guys can see my screen. Fine. So people, before going to all these options, first let's understand what is this lookup functions, why it is used, and then I'll go one by one. Okay. Lookup functions are actually used to search or say to get a value based on some lookup value. Say, let's take like this. I have written one exam. Now I'm going to search for to get my results. I have my register number. Then I'll search my results. So how will I search? I'll go and I'll see from top to bottom. Once I get my register number, then I'll go and see for each subject what is my marks. That is, you are trying to look for some say marks or say values based on some keyword or say key value. That value we call it as lookup value. So based on that value, we are trying to search for alternative values. Say if you go to this website, if you put your register number, automatically you'll get the results. How it is happening for a user? It is like he just enter his register number, then you'll get the results. But in the backend, what it will do, once I input my value or say the key value, it will go and search for that value. Once I get the value, say once it matches, what it will do, it will give me the results based on the key value what I'm specifying. Same thing, this lookup value, what it will do is, it will have one key value. Based on that, it will search for the value where I'm specifying in a database or say in a table. Then it will fetch me the value according to that particular key value what I've given. So that is actually lookup functions. In this lookup functions, we have many different functions. One is VLOOKUP is the major thing. VLOOKUP means vertical lookup, which will actually look from top to bottom. That is like this. So if I'm giving a key value, it will look from top to bottom like this. Then we have HLOOKUP, which will look horizontally like this, in this way. Then we have match, then we have index and offset, and this address and indirect functions. I'll go one by one with the detailed explanation of all this. I know you might find it little confusing here. It's not complex. It is very easy functions, but you might find it little confusing. But don't worry, we can take multiple sessions on this if you still have confusions and not understanding. Okay. First, we'll see this lookup. Say VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. That means I'm trying to look for a value in a table like this. Say I'll go here. I want to search the employee ID E005. If I put this E005, I should get the employee name, the department, the salary, and the region. How to search? I'll go here, say equals VLOOKUP is the function. First, let's understand all the parameters here. First, it says lookup value. That is, which value I'm actually looking. I will select this. So this is the key value which I'm actually looking for. Say F4, fix this, make it absolute so that the next cell what you're using, this reference should not change. Come. Table array, where am I looking? I'm looking for this particular lookup value in this table. Select the whole table and make this also absolute. Comma. It asks for column index number. That means from which column I need to get the result. Say name. In this table array, name is in second column. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now this name is in second column. I'll say 2, comma. Now I'll have some option here says approximate match and exact match. Always go for exact match. That means it should match exactly like what the value we have here. I'll say either false or 0. Anything you can use. You can use either false or 0. Close the bracket and say enter. See E005. It says Rather Williams. Now if you make it as E006, see it will give me Annie Williams. Now if I drag this, I want the department value here. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go here and say 5. See? Next, I have salary. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and say 6. I'll go here and say 6. Next region. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say. See? Now, if I change any value, if I go here and say 1, see? Automatically it will get changed if I say 3. See? That means based on this key value, I'm trying to search the alternative value in this table, that is in this column. When I'm using this VLOOKUP, few things has to be very clear and you should understand this. When I'm actually using this lookup value, the lookup value should be in the first column of the table array what I'm selecting. That means if I go here, say lookup, can you see that? My table array starts from this column. If you're starting from here, say for example, if my table array is starting from here, then I'll not get the result. That means it is trying to search this E004 in this column, wherein I don't have this E003 here. So for that, always make sure that your lookup value is always starting from this first column itself. Then only I'll get the result. Otherwise, I will get NA like this. That means not available. Let me just double click on this. Go here, so enter. See? Okay, fine. And one more thing is the value what I'm looking for should not be duplicate. If it is duplicate, let's say E003, if I have one more value here, see, I'll always get the first occurrence. That means this value. Okay, so make sure that you guys always have a unique values so that you'll not end up with wrong results. See, now I'll go here, I'll get this. Next, one more VLOOKUP example we'll take. I have one table here. I want to fetch the previous year and current year data for this product and based on this region. And the data is in this table. Now, if you see this, I have duplicate values. Just now I discussed if I have a duplicate value, so what will happen? It will always take the first occurrence. Or suppose if you go and take this region, see here I have the values duplicated, say east here, again east here, again east here. If I have any data like this, and if you want to fetch the data, what I'll do is I'll try to combine the columns say equals this ampersand this. That means I'm trying to concatenate these two columns, say enter. Now let me just drag it down. Say this value is unique from this value. So all these values have become unique. See, aniseeds east, aniseeds north. Aniseeds is actually duplicated. But when it combined with the region, then this will become unique value. Same thing you have to do here as well. Say equals this ampersand this. See, Now if you see here, can you see this? These two are unique. Say equals VLOOKUP of this value. Now I'll make it, I'll fix the column here because I'm copying this to the current year cell as well, comma. Then I'll select the table array from this column. Do not select from this column because I have concatenated this. This will actually give me the unique value here. Say A4 to make it absolute, comma. Now I want the previous year data, that is say 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, comma 0. Say enter. See now aniseeds north says 17,975. Let me just drag it. Go here. I'll make it 5. Say enter. Now let me copy this down. See, I'll get the results based on this lookup value. So this is also you can do. Suppose if you don't have unique values like this to search, you can combine multiple columns and make it unique, and then you can search. But make sure that the same value is available here as well. Otherwise, you might again end up with not available result. That means you'll not get the results yet. Okay. So this is one more scenario of using this VLOOKUP. Now let's say HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP means horizontal lookup. Here the rules which are there in VLOOKUP applies to HLOOKUP as well. That means there we are actually searching for the columns. Now we are searching for the rows. Now here always the row which I am searching should be in the first row of the table. That means horizontally I am searching like this. I'll go here. I want the result for Q1, that is gross profit, net profit, and say percentage profit here. Right? Say equals HLOOKUP. I'll select this as my lookup value, comma, and I'll select this table array. See here, I have this Q1, so that is there in the first column. Do not select from here. You might miss this. Select it from here. Say F4, comma. It asks for row index number. Previously in VLOOKUP it was asking for column index number. So here I ask for row index number. That means it is asking for gross profit. Say 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say 4, comma 0. Again 0 is for approximate match. Close bracket. Say enter. See Q1 gross profit. Let's check. See it says 25,000. Let me just drag this. Now it says net profit. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll change this to 8. See 10,500. Now the percentage profit, I'll go here. I'll make it as 9. Let me convert this into percentage. See 21%. Now if you go here and change this to Q4, see gross profit 30,800, then 24,080, then 26%. You can change this to total as well. See, I'll get the value of this column. So whenever you're using this HLOOKUP, make sure that the value what you have will be the first row, and in VLOOKUP, make sure that the value which you're looking for will be in the first column. VLOOKUP means it will search for the columns. HLOOKUP means it will search for the rows. Okay, fine. Next one, match. We'll do these two functions now. Match is a function which is used to get the index number. Now, if you see this VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, I have this row number or say column number which we actually specify. In VLOOKUP, I'll say the column index number here, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something. In HLOOKUP, I was checking for the row number like this. So if you want to get the index number, just index number I'm telling, not the value, then I can use this match function. So how to use this match function? I go here. Let's say I want to find the row number of this or say index number of this in the table array. Equals match. It asks for lookup value. Let me select this, comma. It asks for lookup array. Now I will select the lookup array. In VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP also we selected the array, but this is little different. So what you have to do is when I'm selecting the lookup array, make sure that you will either select one row like this or one column like this. You cannot select multiple rows and multiple columns like this because you're trying to find the index number of that column or for the row. In this case, I want to find the row number. I'm selecting only this one. See, only this will have to select. You should not select multiple columns with multiple rows. Say F4. Now the index number actually depends on from where you are selecting. Say I'm selecting from here, that means this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. If I would have selected from here, that means the index number starts from here. Go here, so F4, comma, now say 0, that is exact match, and say enter. See, E001 is in the first row. Now if I drag this, can you see this? This is in 12. Again here, make sure that you don't have duplicate values. See, suppose if I'm specifying this 12 here, P012, see, it will give me 3 here. That means the search happens like this. Say 1, 2, 3. It will find the value, it will come up. That's all. It will not go further. This is for finding the row number. Suppose, let me go here. I want to find the column number. Let's say in the previous example, I just selected some employee ID here like this, and I got the results here. Let me go to this match. Now what I'll do, let's say I want to find E005. So let's say I want to find the column index number of these things equals match of this value. I want to find the column number, then select only one row. As I mentioned, you cannot select multiple rows or multiple columns. I will select only this, say F4, comma 0. See, employee ID is in first column. Now if I drag this, see, it says 2, the department is in fifth column, salary is in sixth column, and region is in fourth column. Now if you go and change this, say name here, and here I'll just change this to SSN. See, this will get changed automatically. Now where this match can be used, let's go back to this example. Can you see this? I have the same example here. Now here, I was actually counting this column number, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now suppose if I change this to region, and if I change this to name here, see, it will be very difficult for me to check this. Again, I have to go here. Again, I have to change this index number here, and I have to change the index number here as well. So instead of this, what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll say equals. It's password protected. Just equals match of this value, comma, within this column, and say 0. Can you see that? I'm getting this column index number. Now what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll just remove this, and I'll select this. So what this will do is, this will become dynamic. See, if I say name, if I change this, this index number will change. And since I'm referring this inside this, so this value also will get changed. Now if I go here, update the formula, see, now I'm not specifying the value directly here, that is hard-coded value. I'm actually using the match function here so that I'll get the index number. See, if I change this region, automatically this will get changed. If I go here, change this to SSN, see, say this one as department, see, getting the result like this. So you don't have to bother again and again changing the column index number. This can be used when suppose if I have multiple columns, say I have 50 to 60 columns and I'm taking only few say columns to be extracted, then I can use this match function effectively. Next, we'll go to this index and offset. Index function and offset function are again similar to your Vlookup function, which will give me the value. But the way they work is different. That means Vlookup and HLOOKUP will use a lookup value and then give me the results. But index and offset will take the index number and give me the results. That's the only difference. Say in VLOOKUP, I'm using this lookup value and then I'm getting the result. HLOOKUP, I'm using this value and then I'm getting the result. But index and offset, what it will do, it will just take the index number and it will give me the value. How? Let's see. Say equals index. It lasts for array. Again, the array selection is very important. When I'm selecting this array, see, if I'm selecting from here, this will become the row 1. If I'm selecting from here, this will become the row 1. So you just have to take a call from where I need to select the. Let me go here, select this, say F4, comma. It lasts for the row number. I will select this as the row number, or you can specify hard coded. But if you hard code, everywhere I'll get the same result. I'll fix this, comma. Then it lasts for column number. This is the column number. Say 1 and 2. I'll say 1. Say enter. Now, if I drag this, and here I'll change this to column 2. See, let me just copy this down. See, now the third index number I'm getting this. Say 9. It will give me the 9th row value. So if I go here and say 5th row value if you want, see, the advantage here is even if I have duplicate, let's say for example, I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. See, even if I have duplicate, if I go here and say 1, change this to something else. I'll just change only the ID. See, if I say 1, still changing. If I say 5, see, it doesn't matter even if the values are duplicated here. It will just give me the value that is based on this index number. Say if you want 5th row value, just say 5. If I want 4th value, say 4, I'll get the 4th row value. Next is offset. Offset is very similar to your index. Index and offset, both are same. Slight difference, I'll tell you what is that. Both will use index number to get the value, but offset will not select the entire array. That means it will take only one reference. Can you see this? Just select one reference, that's all. You don't have to select the whole entire array here. Just select this and say F4. It lasts for row number. Like in the previous example, the index also had this row number. Here what I'll do, I'll take this rows and columns. I will take this row number, comma, it lasts for column number. Now, one more thing you have to keep in mind, that the index number for offset starts from 0, not from 1. In index function, the index number starts from 1. For offset, the index number starts from 0. That means this is a reference wherein I have the row number as 0, the column number as 0. Now, this says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the row numbers. The column numbers is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. So what I'll do, I have selected this 1. Let me just make it mixed reference and I'll say 0. See, with the first column, say enter. I'm getting this 0, 1. That means employee. Let me just take this. I'll make it as 1. See, if I drag this down, I'm getting the result. That means 2 is nothing but say 0, 1, 2, the second row. If I go here and make it as 10, see, it says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this. If my reference would have been from here, that means this will become row number 0. If I say enter, see, from here 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. See, 2 here, okay. So index means, I'll show you the formula. It will take the whole array, then row number, and then column number, wherein the index number start from 1. Offset will take only one reference, wherein the row number and column number start from 0. That's all. VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index, offset, all 4 actually used for getting the values. VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP actually get me the value based on the lookup value. Index and offset will fetch me the value based on the index number. That's it. Match will actually give me the index number. It will not give me any values. It will just give me the index number. The index number in the sense it can be either row or it can be column. We'll work on this more examples in the coming classes. Okay, let me just finish these two functions. Address and indirect. These two are not much used functions, but I'll just explain what is this. Suppose if you want to get the address of a column or something, say equals, say address. It lasts for row number. Let's say 4th row and I'll say 12th column. See, I'll just get the address of it. So where this can be used, that we'll see in the coming sessions, because this is just to find the address. Say if I go here, say comma, it lasts for absolute. Absolute means what? Having dollar sign for row and column. But suppose if you want to say a relative, just select this and say enter. It will give me the relative address. Address is actually used for generating the say address based on the row number and the column number. And please don't break your head much, because this is not much used function. But still, if you want to learn, I'll just explain again. Say equals address row number. That is, row number is 16, comma. If I say 1, see, it will become A16. Suppose if you say 2, that means it will become B16, like this. Next, indirect. Indirect is a function. Say, for example, I'll say equals this. This is direct reference. Directly, I'm taking the value from B8, like this. So suppose I have the address. Say we use this address here. Like this address function, if you want to get the value by address, say I have this B8. Now let's say equals indirect of say B8. I'm specifying this B8 is nothing but the address, and say enter. See, I'm getting the result which is there in B8. So let me explain again. This is a little confusing. I'll just tell you. Equals this. This is the direct reference. That means I'm using this reference B8, and this is B8 actually. I'm getting this result. Now suppose if you want to get the result based on the address itself, because I don't know, I'll just go here, say indirect of B8. That is indirect of this B8. B8 is nothing but the address. Say enter. See, I'll get the result. Suppose if I go here, say B9, whatever is there in B9, I'll get the result. This is indirect. That means fetching the values indirectly instead of directly. Say if I go here, I can fetch this like this. So this indirect functions will be more used in creating this dynamic range. When you come to this dynamic range, again we'll come back to this address and this say what is this indirect function. So you'll learn more on that. This just keep in mind, address and indirect function actually used to generate address, and indirect is used to indirectly refer and get the value. Okay. So I'll stop here. I think it's already time. I'll stop for the day. I know you guys will have a lot of doubts in this. You guys have to practice more on this. If you still have doubts, then again we can take this session once again tomorrow as well. So you can unmute and just you still have some time. So just tell me what all doubts you have, so that I can make a note and explain it again tomorrow as well. Hello.
Adi, as this lookup and HLOOKUP are really very, very important and essential features in multiple sheets, I would request that, if it can be briefed us tomorrow again before starting.
So that's why what I had a plan was to take the class of this tomorrow. So I thought we'll take a longer duration, but still we had 30 minutes. So I thought, let me just start with this. So what we'll do is we'll take this topic again tomorrow. Okay, so don't worry. See, I know this topic is very important, very confusing, but it is easy. Okay, so let's take it like this. Let's
Yeah.
take that we had some information on all these functions. So what we'll do is we'll take this topic again tomorrow so that you guys will have more information. We'll give you more examples on this. Is that fine?
That's perfectly fine. You've explained
Yeah.
it very, very nicely, but it will be very nice that, if it can be run through again.
Yes, yes. No, my intention was to start this tomorrow, but still we had 30 minutes. So I thought, let me just have a glance on this so that you guys will have an idea. So tomorrow, if I do it again, then it will be more easy for you to
Yeah,
understand.
that's a blessing in disguise for us. Thank
We'll
you.
do that tomorrow again. No problem. I'll start from beginning. We'll do this lookup functions again. We'll take some time and we'll have more examples of this.
Thank you, Adi.
Okay. Any others doubts? Yes, please feel free. Okay, don't. I think all of we here are learning each other, okay, from each other. So feel free. Just tell me whatever doubts you have, whatever things you want to learn. We can go ahead.
Sir, I have a quick question.
Yes, yes,
So when we're using the lookup, VLOOKUPs or HLOOKUPs,
yes.
is it mandatory to do the absolute for that?
See, I'll tell you this. Making absolute or making it relative depends on the situations. Okay, situation in the sense, say for example, I'll go here. In this case, see this, I made this as absolute. That is because I'm actually copying this towards my right hand side. If I'm not doing this absolute, so what will happen? The reference will keep changing. So for that reason, we have to make it absolute here. In some cases, it is like not required. So first we have to understand the scenario and then we have to make it absolute or relative. So depending on the situations, we have to decide. It's not mandatory.
So if we do absolute for each and every VLOOKUP, there is no issue for that, right?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so I'll stop here. So don't worry. Again, I'll take this topic tomorrow either with you or I will repeat this session again so that you guys will have more inputs. And I know many of you have a lot of doubts in this. So again, we'll discuss tomorrow so that you guys will have more clarity on this. Okay. So these files will be shared with you. So you guys try to practice, and still, if you have doubts, then we can make sure that you'll get this cleared tomorrow.
Sir, one small request.
Yeah.
Sir, please kindly send all the materials and the links to the email IDs.
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sure. Okay. So I'll stop here. So we'll meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the same topic. And if you have time, then we'll continue with other topics as well. Okay? Fine.
Thanks, officer.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.